Good afternoon and welcome to NYCryptoTalk. Today's project review on May 9, 2018 is Wanchain, said to be one of the biggest tokens of 2018. Potential gains could be massive. I am doing a review on the project today. I'm very excited about it. I have been meaning to talk about this project for quite a while. It has seen some awesome price action in the past couple of weeks, and it is definitely doing really good right now. There's a lot of things coming out for Wanchain. It is relatively new to exchanges and has been doing absolutely fantastic in the past couple of weeks, going from almost the low of $3 to almost $10 a couple of days ago. So it has definitely done really good with an ICO price of 34 cents. So anybody who got in at an ICO price could be looking at 30x gain already. The project has been doing fantastic, so I want to do a deep dive into what it is and why people are so hyped up about it. Wanchain is basically looking to rebuild finance with a private cross-chain smart contract. Connecting the world's digital assets, Wanchain is creating a new distributed financial infrastructure. Cross-chain smart contracts built on Wanchain will power the new digital economy. Wanchain wants to form an improved modern framework for distributed decentralized financial infrastructure that allows for the exchange of value among different blockchain networks. Based on this new model, intermediaries will develop their own financial services and build a distributed financial market via Wanchain. So big banks will be able to utilize this, and other types of industries can utilize this type of service in order to facilitate multiple cross-chain transactions without having to build a brand new product. This is going to be similar to that of what Ripple is trying to do with a distributed financial system, but this is a lot more decentralized. There's cross-chain functionality, and there's definitely a huge market for this type of technology right now, especially when you're looking at the traditional banking industry, where banks are basically a ledger of assets or money, just like blockchain, but they are centralized. Payments are then settled across different banks and are handled by comparing and adjusting the respective ledgers of the different banks. These banks can then create credit for individuals and create inflation, since their books are generally private. So because these individual banks, this all stems to the actual financial crisis that we've gone through in 2008. There are issues when it comes to being able to give out money to individuals who might not be able to have the backing. Basically, what Wanchain's be able to do is to compare all this information on one chain. So Wanchain will be able to compare the different ledgers from different banking infrastructures, because they'll have that cross-chain functionality or that cross-financial infrastructure that will allow banks to be able to work and coincide within one existing network. Their communication protocol basically allows for data between Wanchain and other chains. It has three main functional modules. The cross-chain data transition module, which initiates the cross-chain transaction request to Wanchain, acknowledges whether the validator node returns success or not, and facilitates the legal transaction from the validator node to the original chain. There's the registration module, which registers the chain that the transaction originates from, as well as the asset that's being transferred, and then the transaction status query module, which monitors the status of the transaction. Basically, you're utilizing a smart contract to be able to transfer assets, whether they're digital funds or potentially products, projects, or other things across those lines. Anything that can be digitalized will be able to be linked in Wanchain in some shape, way, or form at some point. So if you guys are not familiar, Wanchain was actually built off the Ethereum code base. There has been talks about the potential issue that they could run into with scaling. Obviously, until the product is actually up and running, they don't know if that's actually going to be an issue, but they did actually go on having the code base of Solidity and basing it off of where most of the current developers are in the actual market right now. If you look at it, Ethereum is the #2 cryptocurrency and the #1 smart contract platform as of right now. So they tried to base it off an existing model that works, and they can improve on it. They do have a lot of improvements when it comes to what they're doing. Scenarios of Wanchain, they actually have a lot of ideas on how their platform can actually work and how their protocol can work. work. Obviously, they can work with a decentralized exchange so that the exchange of the world's digital assets are on-chain, transact using Wanchain's multi-asset wallet, and build a decentralized exchange applications like Ether Delta with protocol tokens. So because they have a cross-chain technology, they can actually work to build a decentralized exchange on top of their platform. They can also have asset management tools, so minimize exchange counterparty risk. Master address provides simplified and trust audit, privacy protection for trades and positions. If you're not familiar, Wanchain actually has utilized ring signatures within their platform, so they actually have a privacy feature within their platform. So they do have that privacy protection for trades and positions. ICO platform, they want to streamline the process to launch an ICO. So an ICO can actually use the protocol for Wanchain to be able to accept any type of currency, since the cross trading will allow for that functionality, as opposed to having multiple chains going in multiple formats and having to manage all those different formats and reaching a hard cap. Access to Wanchain's exuberant community, collect funds from multiple assets. Looking at their architecture, this is a great way to actually kind of understand how Wanchain works. Basically, you have the Wanchain protocol that will allow for the private transaction to occur between multiple different types of chains and transferring the funds from different exchanges. This also can be from Ethereum to Ethereum, Bitcoin to Bitcoin, altcoin to altcoin. These are just the different examples. Because there is a privacy protection on the Ring CT, as well as the use of the one-time address generation that they have in the functionality of Wanchain, you can actually go from Ethereum to Ethereum and have some privacy behind it. But basically what they do is use the protocol to be able to create a smart contract. They basically lock up your tokens within the actual primary chain. So they will lock up an Ethereum amount on the Wanchain. So Wanchain actually uses a lockup generation scheme, which allows for multi-party computation. So the actual lockup of the tokens will then be available on Wanchain, and they will actually be able to allow you to transfer from Ethereum to Bitcoin, and they will lock up the Ethereum until the Bitcoin is actually released, and then the Ethereum will then be released back into the pool. So it's a great way of being able to actually make sure that if you do a cross-chain swap, you'll have the available funds within the Wanchain lockup scheme. So looking at the privacy features, as I mentioned, in Ring Signature, your signature is basically as a sender, you're mixed in with other accounts, and those accounts get mixed up, and basically there's no way of determining who's actually signing the actual transaction. And every time you do a transaction, they will actually generate a new address for you, so detecting actual transaction patterns are almost impossible. Going to the cross-chain functionality, as I mentioned, they will have locked accounts with secure multi-party computations. They also will support all ERC20 tokens and protocol tokens. Obviously, they will eventually get to multiple privacy coin chains. They haven't yet confirmed the date on it. They have 2019 as the privacy coin chain functionality, but this year they do plan on going into Ethereum and Bitcoin, as well as the actual Wanchain token itself. So we'll go into the roadmap shortly. And going into the smart contracts, as I mentioned, there is a basis on the Ethereum code base. They're leveraging all the existing development tools that are currently available for Ethereum, and they are able to build compelling distributed cross-chain dApps with the existing technology that's out there right now. Obviously, they will definitely be able to build a much better system than Ethereum has right now, and be able to leverage the existing functionality from other platforms in order to make a very unique cross-chain protocol. Looking at their roadmap, if you guys are not familiar, there was a lot of talk about Wanchain because they were releasing their actual tokens. It took them quite a while to get on an exchange, which was not their fault, but they actually did wait for their mainnet in order for the actual token to be available to individuals. So once they actually had their mainnet go up, which was in January, they were able to actually release it and create the actual tech behind it so they can go onto an exchange. and they actually went live on the exchanges with their mainnet tokens, which was a great plus, being that most tokens nowadays have to go through a token swap process. So June 2018, they plan to have the Wanchain 2.0, which is the integration with Ethereum, as well as the multi-coin wallet. Right now, only the Wanchain wallet has support for Wanchain 3.0, which is in December, be able to support Bitcoin and include Bitcoin in their wallet. And 2019 is when Wanchain 4.0, which is integration with private chains, as well as an upgrade to their wallet. So if you go onto their site, you can actually see the availability for the Wan wallet. It is available for Windows, Mac, as well as Linux. You can download it. It is actually a lot more full featured than a lot of cryptocurrency wallets that I've seen in the past. You can actually issue your token and work through their smart contracts to see how it is deployed. You can actually use their Explorer to check the actual transactions of the contracts as well as the network itself. They also allow people to go to use their CLI tool to basically look at the network. Looking at their team, if you guys are not familiar, I'm sure you guys have seen videos before if you're watching this right now. Wanchain's team includes Jack Liu and Dustin Byington. Those are the two main individuals that people always talk about. Jack Liu is basically been around in the blockchain space for quite a long time. He actually came from Peking University, which is a top university in China. He co-founded Factom in 2014. He also founded Wanglu Tech, which is what rolled into the actual Wanchain Foundation. And it is, if you're not familiar, a nonprofit organization primarily operating out of Singapore. And Dustin Byington, who actually serves as the president of the actual company. He also has an MBA from the University of Michigan, and he graduated from Columbia. He actually has founded Bitcoin College, and as well as multiple other organizations, Tendermint, Satoshi Talent, Stokens Venture Capital. So he actually has been involved with Bitcoin for quite a long time and has been in the industry. He's very well spoken, if you guys have not seen any interviews with him before in the past. So they also have a fantastic team of developers, from blockchain developers to financial consultants and people in the actual industry that they are looking to actually be able to overcome and overthrow, hopefully. So there's a lot of people here from marketing, blockchain, financial institutions. They do have a very big team. They have a great advisory team. There's a lot of individuals from the tech industry as well as multiple financial institutions. So there are a lot of backing individuals here on the team that definitely will help them get through anything that comes in their path. So looking at the white paper to see what information they might have that might be relevant to the project that are just not available on their website. There is some incredible information about their design objectives and what they feel they want to be able to accomplish in order to combine the characteristics of decentralization and its application scenarios for the product. Obviously is the cross-chain asset transfer, basically to connect existing major digital currencies such as Bitcoin and Ethereum, and completing the asset exchanges without modifying the mechanism of the original chains. So basically they don't need to touch the code of the original chains. This integrates newly generated digital currency networks with Wanchain at a very low cost. Integrate consortium chains with Wanchain. This fulfills the function of transferring assets from original chains to Wanchain, transferring assets from Wanchain back to the original chains, and vice versa. Ensure the security of cross-chain transaction and the stability of cross-chain transaction services. The privacy protection, so this will go into the ring signatures and the one-time use. The functional extensibility, become a distributed platform from the exchange of various digital currencies. Carry out deposit and loan business for different digital currencies, which is a big thing, which we won't be able to discuss in too much detail, but they want to be able to work in this type of industry in the financial sector. Conduct transactions of digital assets using digital currency as a medium. So the digital assets here could actually be things like real estate, things like digital goods that might actually be pegged to a token, but using currency as the medium to transact them. issue and trade brand new digital financial assets. So the Wanchain architecture and technology, Wanchain is a distributed ledger that achieves the interconnection and interoperability between different blockchain networks, completes records of cross-chain transactions, maintains cross-chain transaction details. So Wanchain supports cross-chain transactions between mainstream public chains, between private chains, and between public and private chains. So here is a picture of the protocol, and you can see here where how the Wanchain protocol can basically utilize the different chains. It'll then have a private transaction on the actual Wanchain system, and then the different chain links will actually interlink between the chains that are going on here. The core features of the architecture are the distributed ledger and smart contract virtual machine, which is basically Ethereum-based generic ledger that runs applications independently with account models and smart contracts that implement various original Ethereum functions. On top of those, we added cross-chain transactions and achieved smart contract token privacy. Native coin, which is the Wanchain consensus mechanism, is basically going to be similar to that of Ethereum, which is proof of stake. There are going to be 3 different levels for the proof of stake. They have not provided the staking mechanism, but I'm sure you need quite a bit of tokens for the proof of stake. It is similar to a master node functionality, and there will be 3 different levels. There's the interchain transactions, which is common transaction methods in Wanchain that are the same as Ethereum, but we have added a privacy protection mechanism that is implemented through a ring signature and a one-time account mechanism. And then there's the actual cross-chain connection itself, which actually will work to integrate the 2 different chains and put the transaction on the actual Wanchain. So here's an example. If you look at this image here, this figure shows how Alice's Wanchain wallet, there is an actual opening that she wants to be able to get a transaction and send the 10 Ethereum from one wallet to another. She basically has a locked amount on her Ethereum, on the Ethereum chain. And here you can see it is also locked on the Wanchain. So depending on the actual account, you see Alice's account here is 10 Ethereum, and that's the locked amount that will be on Wanchain, and the open amount that's on Wanchain will be the locked amount on Ethereum. So if you think about it, it's just basically the originator chain will get locked up, and then the actual sending chain will then get unlocked and sent over, and vice versa. And then here you see the ring signatures is where the validators happen, and then the one-time account Ethereum address will be sent over to the individual. Here's a little more technical view of the cross-chain data process from Ethereum to Wanchain. So you can see here how they work, the voucher, the Ethereum chain, the confirmation for the actual voucher, as well as the request, whether it was refused or timed out, the validator actually creating the Wanchain transaction, the Wanchain transaction going to the storeman, and how it then unlocks the actual Ethereum and moves through the whole process. So it's a really cool way of being able to visualize how the Wanchain process actually works. So the different applications for how Wanchain can actually work in the financial industry or sector. Obviously, borrowing and lending is going to be the major goal for Wanchain to be able to get into the market. Obviously, being able to utilize the platform as a borrowing and lending mechanism, either through ICO projects or through the banking industry, being able to provide liquidity and work with different interchain functionality. Payment and settlement, transaction and exchanges, investment and financing. Obviously, investment will be a huge push for the Wanchain Foundation, potentially moving into the traditional market, fiat market. They could utilize this type of functionality within the fiat market to be able to get that information over to blockchain. And then other uses could be things like multi-currency credit cards based on digital currency, asset-backed securities that package up a variety based of assets, peer-to-peer lending businesses based on digital currency, crowdfunding, and so on. So there's a lot of functionality that could be based upon the Wanchain protocol. If you guys have not heard about the Interoperability Alliance, definitely check out the articles about it. Basically, Icon, Aeon, and Wanchain have all entered in with what they call the Blockchain Interoperability Alliance. Basically, backed by all these projects, they want to be able to solve the problem of isolated blockchains to communicate with one another and the recurring problem of a decentralized landscape. Isolated inter-blockchain communication can put a strain on the blockchain's scalability and mainstream adoption. So all three blockchain projects have the common goal of connecting blockchain protocols. Icon is an interconnecting blockchain network that connects independent blockchains without additional intermediaries. Aeon aims to become the common protocol used for the blockchains, enabling more efficient and decentralized systems to be built. And Wanchain, as we mentioned, is a distributed financial platform that enables private, cross-blockchain smart contract execution that aims to unite the world's isolated digital assets. So if you guys are not familiar, definitely check this out. There's a good video about the actual announcement and how it's going to work and how it's going to weave through the common fabric of the blockchain space. So there's a lot of great things. I'm a big Icon believer. I have not done full crazy research into Aeon, but I'm a big believer in Wanchain and Icon, and I definitely believe Aeon is going to be big because I hear a lot of people talking about it. So I think it's a great partnership. It's probably one of the biggest partnerships in crypto space right now between different products that are not directly related, or parent companies of each other, like Neo has a common partnership with a lot of its products. So obviously the interoperability alliance is going to be a big step, I think, for a lot of these projects to leverage each other's, the upsides of each product. So looking at Wanchain and how I feel about the product, right now, if you guys are not aware, there's 106 million circulating supply with a total supply of 210 million. The current market cap is about $840 million, and the actual cost of the token is about $7.93. This did go up to almost $10 last week with a market cap of well over $1 billion. So the project has done fairly well over its time that it's been released. It's only been out since March 23rd, and it has dipped down to about $3, give or take US dollars. And it has definitely done really well in the scope of a month and a half when things have not been so positive. Only in the past week or two has things been really shaping up. So I definitely think there's still a lot of room to grow. If you look at Wanchain versus a lot of the other projects out there, I do believe in the tech. I do believe in the vision that they have. I believe in the team, the partnership. All the information that they've provided so far has been great. They are going to be at the Consensus 2018 next week. I'm hoping for some great news from the team. Obviously, if they don't deliver anything, I'm cool with that too. But I do think that this project is definitely going to be a big one. I'm hoping this project will be a top 10 coin by end of 2018. Obviously, there's still a lot of time to go. There's a lot of things that need to be uncovered. There's a lot of milestones that they need to reach. But I definitely feel Wanchain is definitely going to be one of the biggest movers of 2018. I know a lot of people say that. Obviously, it all comes down to what you believe in. I believe in tech, and I think the financial cross-chain functionality is awesome. And I do believe that that kind of technology is definitely needed right now. Decentralized exchanges can benefit from it. Banks can benefit from it. Even existing blockchains can benefit from it. So definitely do your own research. It's not financial advice. I just believe in the project. I believe in the team. So let me know what you guys think. I hope you guys enjoyed this. Please like, subscribe, hit the bell notification for more videos. I hope you guys enjoyed this. Leave me a comment, and I hope you guys have a fantastic day. Thanks again.